Hey guys, it's Cody. Welcome to another episode of Press Play Reviews, where today we're going to be taking a look at the fourth episode of The Mandalorian because we got a whole lot of questions in a short amount of time, so let's dive on in. Alright guys, so like I said, we're going to be taking down the fourth episode of The Mandalorian. There's actually a lot of great stuff that they brought into this episode. We get a look at some of the more of the aftermath of where the Empire has left off after it fell in the Return of the Jedi. And if you didn't catch the last episode, we kind of go over a bit about that. A little longer than most of the episodes that are going to be on this channel, just because we had more than one episode to cover. So, but anyway, so we start off with the Mandalorian kind of leaving where he did at the end of episode 3, after he had picked up the package, Baby Yoda, and he basically rescued him. We currently don't know why he's going out of his way to rescue the Baby Yoda. Maybe it's, for a moral reason, principles. It could be part of the Mandalorian religion because he didn't properly do something, with the whole code. I still don't know everything in depth, even from the Legends material. But we get a take, and he kind of ends up taking off on this planet. And at the very beginning of the episode, we see these kind of these grunts, these almost like pirate pillager kind of guys. Space Vikings is the best I can think of them. They're bandits and raiders and stuff. They basically go into this this off-world planet. It's very lush world. Something we're not used to seeing in the Outer Rim galaxy stuff. As far as planets go, because most of the stuff out there are, like planets like Hoth, Dantooine, Tatooine, just a lot of very barren, hostile environments. This place seemed actually more laid back. It kind of reminds me of Endor, which is funny because we'll get to that from this episode. But it's very quiet, laid back, agricultural, small planet that has, just small pocket villages here and there, like little settlements, and they seem like a bunch of villagers that just want to farm, live off the land and, kind of be one with the planet and stuff. It's really cool. But you see these raiders that come in and they just destroy everything. And, right from the get-go, we get this sense that the Mandalorian is going to be kind of hired on by these people, just because it definitely feels like they were building that up. With the Mandalorian being essentially a bounty hunter, we just kind of got this feeling, and I was super excited at going into this because you get all these like pirates and stuff, and they're blowing just the crap out of everything. But so he ends up landing, makes his way into the cantina, orders some food for Baby Yoda to kind of eat, replenish his strength and stuff, because he's had a very tough time as it's been going for the past, couple days, maybe weeks, months, we don't know. This 50-year-old little kid, and he still doesn't know what's going on in the world around him. But God, I love that Stormtrooper mug. It's so cool. But so the first thing he does is he notices in the background there's a woman sitting back there, and it's Gina Camano. I am Gina Carano, and she, I'm so bad with, last names, but so she was actually formerly seen in Deadpool, the first one, as Ajax's right-hand man, Angel Dust, and she's built like a brick S-house, man. She's so cool. I believe she's a bodybuilder and an MMA fighter. I could be wrong in the fighter part, but I'm pretty sure she is. But she's just this like Amazon of a woman. She's super cool. But she ends up playing a hopefully a recurring character named Cara Dune, and we learn to find out that she's out here on the planet to kind of escape the former wars, because she was part of the former shock troopers for the Rebel Alliance. And if you're not aware, shock troopers were basically like these elite fighters, both in the Imperial forces and in the Rebel Alliance. So she was just kind of there to, just kind of chill, and she just wants to retire in peace on this planet. And the Mandalorian's like, well, it looks like this planet's taken, so we gotta go elsewhere, and they kind of get into a really cool tussle, and she's just kicking his butt. And the Mandalorian, after we just seen him, just manhandle a bunch of like pirates on that world that were housing the baby Yoda. He took care of that IG 11 unit. That was just like flipping and just twirling around and blasting everything. And he's just we've seen him do so much in the last like 2-3 episodes, and then she just comes in and she's going ham on him. Just she's going fist to fist with him, which is to be expected because shock troopers were very rarely seen outside of very dangerous missions. They were the elite troopers for both, the Imperial forces and the Rebel Alliance, and to see one actually in action outside of continuity, because inside continuity currently, there's just not a lot of them in there. I mean, there might be some stuff in some of the expanded materials. They do get mentioned in the Wedge Antilles trilogy Aftermath, the book novelization of what happens with Wedge Antilles and his story going onwards. But as far as the shock troopers go, we just don't know much. But we do get a sense of insight of where she's been in the last kind of 5 years post Empire. 9 ABY. And she said that the last time that she was really seen in combat was at the cleanup of, primarily former warlords and stuff from the Imperial troopers on the Battle of Endor. And that's a really cool nod because the Battle of Endor was the defining pivotal moment, if I could speak English, is the defining pivotal moment in the tide of battle between the Rebel Alliance and the Galactic Imperial forces. And, it was just constantly back and forth and stuff. But anyway, so, we get a little bit of a look at Cara Dune, and she's really cool. I hope we get to see her, and eventually I'd like to see Kuiil come back, but I don't think we're going to see much of him. But definitely the new Cara Dune. So, as we're continuing onwards, they end up talking. The Mandalorian ends up talking to some villagers because he finds out that this planet's taken over by this lady. Not necessarily taken over. She wants to be left in peace. So he's like, all right, I can respect that. We're kind of looking for a place of our own. So he takes Baby Yoda. They're loading up. And these two villagers end up coming, and they offer him a very small amount of like credits to help him. To help them fight off these pirates, these space Viking guys or whatever, and they're invaders that keep coming, pillaging and plundering whatever they can, what little the villagers do have, and the Mandalorian's like, he's like, whatever it is, it's you don't have enough money to afford my services, basically what he's saying. But if he's willing to risk his life for a kid that he doesn't even know, you could just kind of see that morality, a sense of morality. You can't see his facial expressions because of the helmet, but they do very well with Pedro Pascal as far as emoting through the armor. And that's what I love the most about Pedro Pascal's vocal performance over mainly just his like physical appearance, because he does feel the part of Star Wars, the cowboy, the western style of the Star Wars stuff, like we discussed last episode, but he just has this sense of ambiguity about him. We don't know much about him, but we do get a sense that he has some moral principles. And if you remember, he, in the past few episodes, the episode 3 and episode 1 or 2, we do see some flashbacks of, people invading his what we can assume is maybe like his like small commune, his village or his people, just stuff's blowing up. It's a war zone, and that might be because of the Imperial forces and stuff. So it just feels like he has this kind of sense of principle almost, and he wants to go in and he decides, for better or for worse, he's going to help these people out. So he reluctantly does. He goes and he ends up finding their village. And along teaming up with him is actually Cara Dune. And this is really cool because he goes in and he's like, hey, I'm going to need your help with this. I understand you live on this planet and stuff now. You're trying to kind of keep a low profile after the war and stuff. But I need your help with this because I have no idea how many there are. I don't know what kind of weapons they have. Just, he just doesn't know. And that's something the Mandalorians are very adept at knowing is their enemy. And if they don't know their enemy, they're going to use every available tool at their disposal, whether it be somebody else, more weapons, more guerrilla tactics and stuff. And the Mandalorians are very adept at adapting to any kind of fight that they need to, and this is what's really cool about him. So they end up, going in and, to make a long story short, the villagers end up asking, "Hey, we need your help. You promised us, and then the Mandalorian and Cara Dune are like, well, we don't know what to do. It's only two of us and like 30 villagers, and none of you are trained fighters, so what can we do?" And they find out that there's an ATST. And if you're not familiar with those they're basically a two-legged version of the AT-ATs, or the AT-AT for some Star Wars fans. But the ATST is basically like this little all-terrain strike unit, and it's basically just a giant thing. It can take out entire battalions of soldiers, and it's really cool because Cara Dune, being a former shock trooper, she's seen this stuff in the war. That with the being allied with the Rebel Alliance and fighting the Imperial forces for how many ever years she's been doing this. And it comes to find out, she's like, I've seen this thing destroy dozens upon dozens of men without even trying. It's just walked through entire battalions. So, imagine what it could do with just villagers in the hands of like pirates and stuff. So again, reluctantly, they both end up, deciding to come up with kind of a game plan. And through, like typical Hollywood montage stuff, they end up training the villagers and stuff, like how to set up like barricades. It's kind of cliche, but I do end up liking it. And instead of one line that I did like was one of the villagers ended up saying, "Hey, you could train us," instead of the usual, "Hey, we'll train you how to fight." The main antagonist or the protagonist, I apologize. Saying, "Oh, we'll train you. You will be fighters." It's actually one of the villagers who just kind of outright says it. It's kind of corny the way he said it. He's like, "But you could train us to fight." But, anyways, I'm lingering too much on that. So, again, he's reluctant, along with Cara Dune. They end up setting up a barrier kind of around the village, and they set up a way to kind of sink the ATST, because it's very good at getting around very, different terrains, especially if you've seen the Battle of Endor. It had almost no troubles getting around, the wooded areas, but it was easily taken down by, giant logs and stuff. So much for being able to destroy entire battalions of, dozens upon dozens of men, when you could just, destroy with two logs crashing into it. But, so, they end up, training these guys, building a barrier, and they have a game plan. So, Cara Dune and the Mandalorian end up going out and distracting the pirates, and they set up something. I don't remember what they found. It's like these weird vats of like goo or like radioactive material, possibly fuel. But I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they mentioned it. I just don't recall in the episode. But anyway, so they end up going in and they set up, the battalion and stuff. And the pirates end up coming, and they have the ATST like they feared, and it's just this massive machine. Well, they end up defeating it. They end up killing a bunch of the pirates. The pirates end up in retreat and stuff, so the village is saved. And now, several weeks end up passing, and the Mandalorian's like, "Hey, this is a good place for the baby Yoda. He seems happy, with the village kids and stuff. I'm going to leave him here. I'm going to make sure that he's safe. I'm going to keep him here." And he wants to take off. Well, in the midst of this, we end up seeing that one of the other bounty hunters from the guild that was just formerly destroyed, just torn to shreds by the other Mandalorians, is tracking. So that means that there are possibly, we just don't know how many countless other bounty hunters out there. But Cara Dune ends up, protecting the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda by just, blasting him. And the Mandalorian's like, "This isn't good. They know where we're at. They know we're here. So I guess I cannot leave Baby Yoda here." So he ends up, having to pack his stuff. And it's kind of a sad moment, just because, you feel that he's just been through hell and back. Through the past stuff that we've seen. We're slowly getting pieces of the puzzle to kind of form it as a whole, and we're slowly building up that he's, I don't want to say a broken person, but he's definitely one that's experienced that war zone, and he just wants to, have peace. If not for him, definitely for the Baby Yoda. And again, we don't know exactly why he's protecting Baby Yoda, why he's going out of his way to do all this. Maybe, again, it's because of, principles and moral reasons. But whatever it may be, I hope we get more coming into the next episode. But this has just left us with a whole slew of questions, for me at least. I want to know where, some of the other rebel troopers have gone, why they would end up going into hiding. Cara Dune, I guess, is one. She may be the exception to just kind of, never said she went AWOL, but she did end up retiring after the war and stuff. But I'd like to see where maybe more of the other rebel troopers in the past have gone. I would like to see more of the Imperial stuff. But again, you get to see a lot of the stuff that we talked about last episode of post Empire and how it's affecting these people that are just trying to get back to their daily lives pre-Empire, or even during the Empire, when the Imperial forces invaded their stuff. But anyways, guys, that's all we have for this episode. I will catch you every Tuesday. Is going to be the upload. The episodes come out Friday for The Mandalorian. So I'd like to, give some people time throughout the weekend. I actually work over the weekend and stuff, so that'll give people some time to kind of catch up, so we can actually have a nice discussion. I'm not going to spoil everything. Just the first few episodes haven't really delved so much into it. So once we get a lot more, I'm assuming bigger twists as the story unfolds, we'll go more into less spoiler territory. But for the first few episodes, there's not much in the form of huge spoilers that the internet hasn't already, spread out there for you guys to see and stuff. But like I said, every Tuesday is going to be hopefully an upload video. That is my goal, to record, edit, and then get it uploaded by sometime in the afternoon, early evening, so you guys can enjoy and have these discussions. So if you want to like, comment, subscribe, comment anything, have a great discussion down in the comments below. And I hope you have fun, and grab your popcorn, have a soda, and press play for these reviews, guys. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.